or people can say, oh, she's a good person or she's a nice person. Please tell me, when did nice become a fruit of the spirit? Already concluded that they are grasshoppers, and because you already concluded this is who you are, that's how they will look at you. That's how people will see you. So people pleasing is not love. It's not you trying to stay humble, trying to stay calm, to remove pride, just to say yes sir, yes ma, yes ma, yes ma. You take responsibility for whatever it is, whether it is their fault or not. They always like to take responsibility. And then good people, like people pleasers in quotes, it affects firstborns too, because you are trying to be there for everybody, but you cannot be there for everybody. See that Jesus had to tell you, bring your own. Then instead of just bringing your own to Jesus, you're not carrying other people's own. Are you the Christ? Are you El Shaddai? You are not, else you shall die. You can be kind, helpful, and available and still be slowly losing yourself. People pleasing doesn't start as weakness. It starts as a quiet survival strategy. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the rest of the episode. Hello, welcome back to Mind and Growth Workout. Today we're starting a new series for May, and it's one I believe many of us do not know we needed. We are talking about people pleasing. Not as a label, not as an insult, but as a pattern that slowly shapes how we live, how we decide, how we love, and even how we obey God. So it's gonna be a ride. Now let's look at what people pleasing really is, because a lot of persons do not know that they are people pleasers. So if you want to know if you are a people pleaser, make sure you keep watching. Now let's look at what people pleasing really is, because a lot of persons are people pleasers, but they do not know they are. Are you one? Let's find out together. People pleasing is not kindness. I'm sorry to burst your bubbles. It is not love. People pleasing is not even humility. People pleasing is when your sense of safety, worth, and peace depends on how people feel about you. You have tied your worth to how people feel about you. You are always doing things just to get people's approval, just so people can say, this girl does this, or people can say, oh, she's a good person or she's a nice person. Please tell me, when did nice become a fruit of the spirit? A lot of persons have really tied their worth to that, how people will see me, what people will say. See, people will see you however you carry yourself. If you bring yourself low, they will see you as a low person. When I was reading the Bible, see that story where the 12 tribes were sent to go and spy the land of Canaan, and 10 of them came. They were just talking about how there are giants in the land. Meanwhile, Caleb and Joshua now said, oh, the land is flowing with milk and honey. But those 10 persons, they were insisting that we saw Nephilims, the giants, and all of those things. And you know the funny thing? It's not funny, it's painful. They said, in our eyes, we are like grasshoppers to them, and so we are in their eyes. That's enough to bust your head. I mean, how? Are you inside of me? Are you inside of them? Are you inside their eyes? How do you even know? Oh, I don't want to make this dramatic, because it really is looking dramatic. But how did they come to that conclusion that in their eyes we were like grass? In our eyes we were like grasshoppers, and so are we in their eyes. They already concluded that they are grasshoppers, and because you already concluded this is who you are, that's how they will look at you. That's how people will see you. So people pleasing is not love. It's not you trying to stay humble, trying to stay calm, to remove pride, just to say yes sir, yes ma, yes ma, yes ma. You answer to any and everybody yes sir, whatever they say you should do, whether you have time or not. Oh yes, I'm that's not kindness. It's not love. It does not mean you're a good person. If anything, you are a bad person to yourself, because you need to consider your feelings, you need to consider your time, you need to consider your resources, and you need to set boundaries too. I feel like I'm shouting, but I want it to really hit to you, so you repent, you change your mind, change how you think. People pleasing is not love. Don't allow anybody talk you into that. It is not love. You are tying your sense of worth to how people feel about you. So if this person says you are not good because you do not do anything, you just try to make. Let's not go there. I don't want to get ahead of myself, because this May I am unpacking a lot of things about this topic, people pleasing. You are not just being helpful, you are afraid of disappointing people. You care so much about how people appoint you when you have not even appointed yourself. Because it takes someone who has appointed you to disappoint you. Imagine when people who did not appoint you are disappointed in you. It does not make sense. You are not just saying yes. You are afraid of rejection. You are afraid that somebody will reject you, or this guy I like, you reject me, or this girl I like, I want to ask her out, she will reject me. So you do maybe any and everything just to please her, just to get her to say yes, at the expense of yourself, of your mental health, psychological health, emotional health, and financial health. It's not like you're being understanding. You're just trying to avoid conflict. Because sometimes people can do something and you just not want to understand why they did that. So when you're doing it all the time, it's not just because you are an understanding girlfriend, an understanding friend. It's because you're trying to avoid conflict. And you're a people pleaser. Because sometimes there are some matters that should be addressed head on. I don't say you should fight though. I don't say you should shout. I just said there are some matters that should be addressed head on. Not just accepting somebody makes a mistake in the office and blames it on you. And because you're trying to please this person, you just grovel under their feet and say, yes, sir, I did it. Did you? My sister, you didn't did it. You did not do anything. Do you know the scary part of people pleasing? You will look loving on the outside, but inside you are slowly disappearing. You are detaching I don't know how to explain this. I can't say I don't know. You are slowly disappearing. You won't even be able to find you. That's why sometimes people can tell you that I can't feel myself. I don't know who I am anymore. Because you are living for people and not yourself. So this episode is to tell you that you do not need people's permission to live. God has already given you permission by allowing you to be born. So live for yourself. Live for God. People can come later. So do not just live for people when you have yourself, when you have God, because of what people will say. See, I always say this. There is something you do not have control over, and there is something you have control over. You have control over what you say, over how you act, but there is something you do not have control over, and that is people's reaction to what you say, to how you act. Allow people to do their job. Don't do yours and do their job. Talk. Allow people to react. Don't talk and react on their behalf. Do you know why people pleasing is so hard to notice? Most people pleasers, they do not wake up one day and say, today I want to live for blessing. I don't want to live for myself. They don't do that. It usually starts subtly, and you learn that approval equals safety. So you feel you need to be approved. And when you get approval from your boss, from your friend, from whoever it is, it means you are safe. That's how it starts to come. Because there is nobody that was born with people pleasing. If anything, even when you are a child, you never pleased everybody. Because you can still see that auntie in the neighborhood. And when the person does anything to you as a child, you go and report to your mother, or you go and report to your father, or you just, people say when a child tells you are beautiful, true, you are beautiful, because children can be blunt. So nobody was born with that. Nobody was born with that innate ability. Nobody's saying you're coming to earth with people pleasing. No, it starts when you start to learn that approval means safety. Whenever I get approval, it means I'm safe. Once I don't get approval from this person, it means I'm not safe. You also learn that being good gets you love. Because you are good, you think everybody will like you. Are you ice cream? Even if you are, I don't want to say I don't like ice cream. I like ice cream too. But you're not ice cream. So everybody's not going to like you. So try to act nice or try to act good just so you will get love. If anything, whatever you will get will not be love. You will get suppression and you will think it's love because you want to please people. This is a very bad thing. And you learn that saying no causes tension. Maybe if I say no, it will bring a problem, or if I say no, it will cause a misunderstanding. That is how people pleasing starts to build up in your heart, in your mind, in your brain. Then you now adapt it. At first, it works for you. People start to notice you. People start to like you, and it starts to get to your head, and you start to enjoy the feeling that comes with being on the spotlight, like being everybody's favorite. But you see, slowly your decisions, hey, they're no longer coming from your own conviction, but from what people have projected into you. People pleasing causes emotional damage, a lot of it. It causes emotional exhaustion. You'll be tired emotionally, because that's like you are pretending, you are acting, and it will get to a point where you will want to pull off the mask you have covered your face with, because it can get exhausting. That's the cost of people pleasing. You'll be emotionally drained. When you are trying to please A, please B, please C, at the end of the day, you won't find yourself. It also causes, that's one of the costs of people pleasing, it causes hidden resentment. Outside, this person will say that you like them, but inside, you are carrying things in your heart, bearing grudges in your heart. Oh, this person really stressed me just for me to get his approval. And you are carrying it in your heart. Do you know how I suffer for this? But outside, you look loving. And when you keep packing all these grudges in your heart, you can't build a mansion with that, because it will surely collapse. It will surely collapse. And then it comes with confusion about who you really are. You'll be asking yourself a lot of questions. Who am I? Am I living for people? Who am I exactly? What am I here to do? You feel so alienated from yourself. When you are constantly checking on what people are saying about you and what people have said about you, you start to miss out on something. And what is that? What God has said about you. When you are concerned about what people will say, what people are saying, their approval, you start to forget that God has already given you approval, and He has already said beautiful things about you. So your worth is not tied to how people feel about you. Your worth is tied in God. I said it. So why do good people struggle the most? That's people pleasers. Why do they struggle the most? The first one is because they are responsible people. Because they are responsible people, so they always want to take responsibility for whatever it is, whether it is their fault or not. They always like to take responsibility. And then good people, like people pleasers in quotes, it affects firstborns too, because you are trying to be there for everybody, but you cannot be there for everybody. See, I don't know how to explain this, but you cannot be there for everybody. People will be fine with or without you. People will be fine, and they will do well with or without you. So do not think that people's success is tied to just you. You know, when you're just packing people's problems and you're placing it on your head, carrying people's burden, when your own is even too heavy for you, that Jesus had to tell you, bring your own. Then instead of just bringing your own to Jesus, you're not carrying other people's own. Are you the Christ? Are you El Shaddai? You are not, else you shall die. Leaders also struggle with these good people in quotes, because they always want to be good. Oh, please, oh, don't worry, yes. Oh, please, oh, don't. Especially people that have this temperament, the melancholics and the phlegmatics. Unfortunately, but fortunately, I am both. And I used to be a people pleaser. I'm not there yet. I'm not like perfect out of it yet. I still have some sprinkles here and there, which I am seriously working on. So they don't like trouble. We don't like trouble at all. I don't like trouble. Right? Yes. They don't like trouble. So when people say anything, whether it's to benefit them or not, they can just say, okay. But these days, I am learning to say no, and I will not feel guilty about saying no, because I also have a life to live. So people pleasers, they are always compassionate. Yes, I know. But compassion without boundaries, it will lead to self-betrayal. You are betraying yourself. Jesus was very compassionate when he was working with people, but he knew when to take himself away from the people to just have a me time. He knew when to allow the people go, so he can just have time with his disciples. But people pleasing, no. They will keep dragging him here and there. Wherever the master goes, I go. And I was, So let me say this so you won't feel bad because I've been shouting. People pleasing is not a moral failure. It is a response you have learned because of fear or whatever reason it is. And you can actually stop it. It is a quality that shouldn't even be close to you or anybody around you. And it's not something you just stop once. It takes time. It's a process. Your growth begins when you realize you are allowed to exist without constantly getting approvals from people, without constantly earning acceptance from people. But once you have realized that you're growing, your growth has started. If not, if you are still people pleaser, you'll be stuck because your own task, your goals, your vision no will be actualized because you'll be focused on actualizing people's own instead of working on yours because you don't want to let them down. You don't want them to be disappointed. I said I wasn't going to shout again. So this series is not to shame you. It is not to shame you. It is not to shame me too because I told you that I was a people pleaser. I still am, but just sprinkle because I am learning to let that go completely from my life. We are not shaming ourselves this month. We are not forcing ourselves to change. Like I said, it's a process. We are becoming aware that this is what I have. You know, it is easier to treat a problem that has been diagnosed, right? So now that you know that I am a people pleaser, it will be easier to start treating it. It is easier to say yes to the truth than just saying no. And I believe this series will help us in a great way. It will help us a lot to move from being people pleasers to people that will do things without getting up, without seeking to get constant approval from anybody. If this episode felt personal to you, it's okay. I'm not condemning you. Awareness is not condemnation. It is an invitation into something higher, into something better. In the next episode, I will talk about where people pleasing comes from and why it's so deeply rooted. Take a deep breath. You're not broken. You're a people pleaser. You understand. You know that now. So we are going to seek for medication. We're going to seek for help. You and me. And that's where we end today's episode on the first series of people pleasing. Before I go, our culture, our task for us or reflection question, whatever you want to call it. First question I want you to ask yourself, please do this. When was the last time I said yes to somebody while feeling no inside? Deeply, I want to say no, but I had to say yes to the person. When was the last time? If yours is yesterday, you're a people pleaser, a chronic people pleaser. If yours is today, anything more than chronic. If yours is last week, just ask yourself, when was the last time I told somebody yes when I meant to say no, but because I didn't want to disappoint them? Second question, do I feel guilty when I disappoint people, even for healthy reason? When I disappoint people, do I feel guilty for that, even when my reasons are valid? And the last question I want you to ask yourself is, who am I afraid of upsetting? And why? Who are you afraid of upsetting? Write the person's name. I'm afraid of upsetting Blessing. Why? Because Blessing will not approve of me. Blessing will not. That's how I just want you to do it. So that's the end of today's. Don't miss next week. Because we're going to talk about where it came from. Why is it so rooted like this? That it has eaten us deep inside. So before you go, I want you to share and subscribe and turn on your notification to receive updates when the next episode comes on live. I love you. Thank you for listening to me. Bye.